Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Rideshare Parallel Universe. My name is Robert, and I got quite a few things to talk about with Uber today. Over the recent days, I've started noticing something that the app will take and send out premium pickup likely. Premium pickup likely. So I accept the ride. One of two things is going to come up. It will be a for now ride, or they are hiding a reservation ride or a scheduled pickup. When you complete the trip, if you go into the breakdown of the ride, there is no extra funds. There is no premium pickup pay. It's all a ruse to get you to pick up because all the other drivers have turned it down. Whenever I called about this morning, the guy that I talked to, his name was Marky, with Diamond Driver Support, the most rudest individual I've ever spoke with in my life. I tried to report him. The next girl hung up on me. Didn't call back. They're supposed to call back if they lose connection. She didn't. Tried to talk to me like I was stupid, that I didn't know what I was talking about. I'm like, how? He asked me, well, how much it's supposed to be? I'm like, how am I supposed to know? The algorithm figures that out. And then he wanted to send me a link so that I see. This is what they do: is they'll try to snowball you when they know that they're in the wrong. More specifically, like if you tweet out something that Uber's caught doing, they won't answer. Uber support will not answer your tweets if they know that they're up to crooked shit. So he wanted to send me this link. I'm like, no. I said, I've given you their names. You can look it up right there on your computer. I had to tell him their names 4 or 5 times. When it was all said and done, I ended up hanging up on him. So I tried calling back. Because he threatened me. He goes, because I threatened to go in and put the drivers or their passengers down as rude, because I wanted them to impair me. If Uber was not going to pay me for those rides, which he knew that they wasn't going to, then I didn't want them back in my car again. He says that they couldn't do it, that they could only unpair for attitude. Well, that's incorrect. If a driver, for whatever reason, does not want somebody in their car, that is his right. Bad area of pickup, an undesirable area of pickup, drinking inside the car, they smelled funny, whatever the case may be. These are our vehicles. We don't have to allow people in our vehicles if we don't want them in our vehicles. Plain and simple. But the fact of the matter is whenever you get the runaround like this, they don't want to charge extra because they want to keep that passenger. All right? And they don't want to look bad. Seeing that's something else too. I have come to figure out, because I'm still waiting on my points that Uber took from me for not accepting reserved trips. They've taken 3. I've come to understand and to believe, for that matter, that whenever they say that they're doing tickets to send up, they're not. They're not doing anything. They are sitting there pretending, and I have felt this for an actual quite a long time, that they are not doing anything at all but sitting there pretending that they're doing something. Because it takes them, because I voiced my concerns, unless they're doing voice to speech over the phone, you don't hear any buttons. I hear dogs in the background. I hear children playing in the background, but I don't hear the clicking of computer keys. And they're like, okay, and it's like 2 seconds, done. Or they'll put you on pause for a couple minutes, pretend that they're doing something, and then they'll come back, and then they'll put you on pause for a couple more minutes, and then they'll come back, and see, it's a whole thing. But I firmly believe that they do this because typically you would think that if a driver calls in with a specific issue, that you would get an email back with the resolution. You don't get these from Uber. I've never gotten one. Not one. Ever. And so that leads me to believe that nothing's going up to Uber engineering when you have problems with the app, whenever you log on in the morning and you've lost an acceptance point and you're like, but I've been logged off and it was this point whenever these points whenever I logged off the day before. These people are company people. Wherever the fuck that they're calling from around the world, they only care about saving their jobs. And if they're filling out issue tickets and acting like that they're trying to work with the drivers, and that might actually cost them their jobs. It's something to really think about, okay? Sit there, answer phones all day long, pretend that you're doing something, and get paid. It sounds like a lot of American jobs, to be quite honest, especially with help centers. And start all over the next day. But so that's two things. I'm waiting to see if I get kicked off the platform or not. So far, I figured that they would have already done it by now. But then again, I did cast some magic against Uber and that individual, protective ruins against them, to keep them from being able to do anything to me. And you know what's interesting? Last night I did a protection spell with ruins. You write it on a piece of paper, and then you light it, and you let it burn, and that activates the ruins. Okay? Or the ruin spell. I've got actually a ruin on my board right there on the back of my seat. It's a protection. I've got this right here, which consists of herbs and protection. I've got all kinds of stuff in this car. You got to protect yourself from these idiots out here, and there's a lot of them. And I'll go home and I'll cleanse myself this afternoon, and I'll cast a spell against Uber again, and lying passengers, and I'll do what I have to do to protect myself, because at the end of the day, Uber's not going to protect its drivers. We're nothing to them. What these support people fail to understand is we as drivers pay their salaries or their hourly rates, whatever it is that they're being paid. If it wasn't for Uber drivers, they wouldn't have a job, just like if it wasn't for the app, we wouldn't have a job. Okay? I looked up Uber stocks. It's only $35 a stock. That's pretty damn low. Okay? I ought to buy me a couple shares and then email into Uber. Is this how you treat one of your drivers / stockholders? Because I do own stock. Or, Yes, I'm ranting right now. I've had it with Uber in a lot of different ways. And they've been taking a lot more money. A lot more money. I busted them the other day. See, the last time I talked to somebody, it didn't dawn on me what he had said until the day before yesterday, when Uber took 63% of a ride. What he told me was, whenever Uber gives out a lot of promotions, and those people that get inside your car that they've given promotions to, or service adjustment fees, whatever, you can bet during the course of that day that they're going to take that money back out of another ride, meaning that they're going to take 3/4 of that ride, maybe a little bit less, but to recuperate. Because there was a ride last Saturday, I had a bunch of promotions, and then lo and behold, I had this ride and they took $9 and some change. They gave me $5 and some change. All those promotions that they took out and gave to those people, that one fare they took back. They damn sure did. And then I remembered that phone call, and I understood exactly what he was talking about. I'm like, okay, that makes sense now. I understand that now. So, If you happen to look at your rides, and drivers, be aware of your rides. If it looks like if Uber has taken more than they're supposed to, go back through your day and see how many promotions that they've given out. Okay? You'll find your answer right there. You should be looking at every ride anyway, because Uber will take a lot from you. They're already taking 35% of every ride. That's minimum. And if you go and if you do the math on to see the percentage, what they pay themselves divided by the total amount of ride equals the percentage. So if they take $5.32 and the overall ride was, say, $9.42, divide 9.42 into 5, whatever I said, and you'll come up with your percentage. That's how you figure out how much Uber's taking. And you'll see it. It's there. Plain and simple, cut and dry. It's there. And, and that's how you figure out exactly what it is. So I had to block Uber from my Twitter account. So I was actually looking on hashtag Uber and looking at some of what people say. I'm surprised drivers aren't calling Uber out as much on Twitter. Twitter is worldwide. And I'm surprised as drivers don't utilize this to say, hey, this is what Uber is doing. Okay, I got X amount of dollars, Uber charged X amount of dollars for this ride. This is what they gave me. This is what they took. Because people aren't talking about it. People aren't talking about how much more money Uber's taking. And I don't know why. Maybe people are just oblivious to it. I have no idea. Or they don't care, one of the two. But I find it very, very interesting, to say the least. It's a slow day here today. It started off really busy, and then Uber jacked with me, and my rides have fallen off. I think that every time, because I did actually report that driver inside the app for being unprofessional. And whenever you report a driver inside the app with the little smiley face thingies, they'll dial back your rides. I've learned that a few times. So they do. And what's interesting, here in the United States, that's illegal. It's called retribution. Employers cannot do it. If you turn in an employee in for inappropriate behavior or whatever the case may be, and if the company does something to pay you back, that's breaking labor laws. But nobody ever holds Uber accountable. There's been hundreds and hundreds of lawsuits, and they keep getting thrown out. There's nothing that's almost like they're untouchable. So, folks, y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching Rideshare Parallel Universe. Please leave a comment if you've been noticing some really shady things going on with Uber. A lot of what I see is kind of just standard information, and then of course the bad passenger stuff, but nobody's really using Uber or using YouTube or social media for that matter to expose Uber for what they are, and Lyft for that matter. There's a lot to say about Lyft. I mean, there's tons, but nobody's talking about these companies. The only way that we as drivers are going to make change is if we fight back. And I don't mean a literal fight back. I mean we're not going to take this. You don't have to take scheduled pickups, and if they sneak one in up underneath, premium pickup likely, call them out on it on social media. I just got one, I didn't get anything extra whenever it said that it was a premium pickup, because that was something else. I said Uber lied about this ride so that a driver would pick it up. And these people know what Uber does. They know how shady the algorithm is. It's these people that write the damn programs, the engineering programs, and they know what's going on because drivers are calling about it. You cannot work for a company like this on that end and not know what's going on. You just can't. So, y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you.